Konnichiwa, and welcome to the 340th podcast of the Rowan Anime Group. My name is Robert Cryon. I'm currently the president of the group. Today we're going to talk about comparisons between America and Japanese literature in certain stories. Now, when I was a young man, I used to watch Star Trek, the classic series. Now, recently an episode had came to my mind, and it was called The Clouded Miners. Now, what was so interesting about this episode, it dealt with people who were living in the city. They were living the good life, and people who were living below as miners, really living a very harsh life. Now, believe it or not, anime has done this in two stories that I know of. The first one I'm going to talk about is Alita Battle Angel. Now, in that story, it's really gritty, really dark, to put it mildly. They're dumping trash down onto the planet, and people who are living below are living like maggots, and very violent society in Alita's world. And she has become a bounty hunter, and she has a mentor who's trying to train her, and it's a very dark anime. Now, it was shown on the Sci-Fi Channel, and there is an OVA of it, which, they crushed into the movie when they showed it on the Sci-Fi Channel. But it is a classic anime. The page count is beautiful. The violence, yes, necessary for the story. And Alita herself was a very interesting character. It's also, too, a sad story in some ways. It runs like a Greek tragedy. Now, the second series I'm going to talk about is called Iabui. Now, it's a little bit lighter tone. And it was about a young boy who wanted to go up to Eden. And there's these two cities that are floating over the planet, and they're constantly fighting against each other, or they are about to break war. And Iabui runs on the same principle. The young boy wants to go up and thinks that he's going to go to paradise if he gets up to any of the two cities. Now, there's another thing that I want to do a comparison on. When I was a young boy raised growing up in Salisbury in the 1970s, there wasn't very much choices as far as what you wanted to watch on TV. But Channel 3 in North Carolina was showing this nice little children's show that was done by Filmation, which is called Space Academy. Now, this is in the 1970s. The actor who played Dr. Smith in Lost in Space, Jonathan Harrison, played Commander Gampu. But it was a story about training young kids in space to be space explorers. Now, we have a marvelous, wonderful anime that also too covers that same idea. It's called Selvia. Now, in the first story, which was very interesting, and I hope I'm not doing too much of a spoiler here, it deals with young people being trained in outer space. There's also two other foundations in Selvia, satellites that are also training young people as well. There's adventure in Selvia. The music is marvelous. I couldn't ask for anything better. The stories are very interesting. The characters are very fleshed out. That I can sympathize with them. I did find several characters that I really liked, and it's very fun because you got a bunch of young kids trying to be trained as astronauts, and some of the most interesting crises that I've ever seen. The only problem you're going to have with Selvia is trying to buy copies. Now, I recently went on the internet to try to see how much a box set costs, and on Amazon I found one for about $200. But the interesting part about Selvia, if you went and tried to buy the individual DVDs, you might be a little bit better off going that route and maybe finding everything you want as far as Selvia. Now, some news. Voice actress and also to J-pop singer Naomi Musiki is going to have her cover, I think it's sometime in July or maybe June, on a magazine called I, and that's EYE, and then the second word is AI. And it's very nicely done. She posted it up on Facebook recently. I even put it on my Facebook, and I thought that was a very nice photo of Naomi. Now, what's been going on with the NC Rowan Anime Group? We have canceled two of our meetings. We canceled our June 20th meeting and our July 25th meeting. We've been having some problems inside our group, and I'm going to give a quote for just a moment. No man is an island among himself. Each man is part of the continent, a part of the main. And we need to take the time out with this anime group to get it back where I think on the right track. And remembering that we need to remember that everybody is important in this group, that each member has a part to play in it. Nobody by themselves can, be a group. Well, we are hoping to plan to go to Baccalaureate, which will be on the last Saturday of July, for our first field trip there. And Baccalaureate, I've had lots of fun there during previous podcasts. I'm hoping to do some there as well. And return to Baccalaureate in Charlotte on the last weekend of Saturday on July. Now, August the 11th, we are going to have a membership drive at the Comic Monster from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we hope to maybe get some new members. The nice thing about August is that's when school starts back. The colleges start reopening up around here in Salisbury, so maybe we might be able to pick up some new members by then. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this podcast today, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.